is in relation to SCA fighting? Anyone want to go first? Want to jump in? What are we talking about when we're talking about timing? When to throw a shot. Okay? Anything else?
And anticipation, response, and attack.
Okay?
Tempo.
Okay? Anyone else? Pardon?
The beat of the fight.
The beat, the pace? Yeah, absolutely. Okay?
One of the most important things. One of the most important things.
It absolutely is. It really is. One of the things that made me want to start this is I watched new people get caught. And what was happening is, you know, we learned the snap, we learned the offside, we learned a leg shot, and then a wrap, and then a thrust, and it just gets more and more complicated. And no one's telling new fighters when, right? It's just learning more and more shots. It's getting more and more complicated, more and more things for them to try. Try teaching an offside leg. But one of the basic things that I think, after you know how to throw those 3 shots, you need to tell people when to throw those 3 shots. My idea of timing is, this is the concept of one person is going to throw a shot, one person is going to block a shot. And in order to block that shot, you need to know when and where it happens. Okay? Sounds very basic, but those are our 2 opportunities to mess with our opponent. Okay? Timing can also stretch into other things. There's when to attack, when to block. There's also the concept of timing is when to make your move, when to pick up the pace, when to be conservative. So there's a whole aspect of timing. Anticipation versus reaction. There's 2 sides of this. Okay? Anticipation. I've been watching my opponent. He threw a shot on this side. I'm going to anticipate that he's now going to throw a shot on this side. He's thrown 2 or 3 shots up high. I'm starting to anticipate a leg shot coming. Right? So anticipation. If you pick up on your opponent's small movements, you might get anticipate whether he's going to be aggressive or conservative. And then there's reaction. Reaction is simply the can I block this shot in time? So I love watching slow-mo footage of 2 people fighting. So imagine Bryn's got a shield. This happens in slow motion, so don't move. And then you see the shield moving. Okay? This is reaction. Reaction is you have to see the shot. You have to identify what the shot is. You have to send the signal to your arm to move the shield up. And then it actually has to happen. And that's why we can take something that's this far away, and you see this happen all the time, it actually comes in and hits before he moves his shield 3 inches. So, reaction versus anticipation. You can get advantages on both of these things. So reaction, we're starting to do things like, well, if I get you to think about something else, you're going to react slower. If I can get you to move your shield down, and it starts going down, and then I go high, now your reaction is slow. So you can manipulate your opponent by clouding their anticipation, and you can manipulate them by affecting their reaction time.
We'll go into a little bit more of that.
Yeah, we've got a couple of drills on
the
that.
drills for that. So this is just to kind of give you a brief idea of what we're talking about, and so kind of try to keep those things in your head as we're going through the drills and stuff, right?
So look for intent. One of the first things, we come into a fight, you start picking up intent. This is not even what shot your opponent's going to throw, but whether or not they're going to throw. So we could be fighting, and I'm like, he's not throwing yet. I can tell. When I first started working with Bryn, I was messing with him. I'd go like this. And I'd go like this again. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can tell you're not going to throw a shot. You're all settled in, and you're just standing in range. I know I'm safe. So when you start picking up on these movements, how people hold their body, whether they're up on the balls of their feet, are they planted, are they doing this? right? So if someone's like resting like this, they do not have the intent to throw a shot at you. Looking for patterns, right? I will, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I'll do a pass with someone, engage them and see what's going on. Look for a pattern on what they're going to do. We all keep both on our opponents. Start picking up on what they like to throw. And then there's a pattern that we all do, right? So there's a very simple pattern. It's this, and it's this. 95%, I don't know any fighter that doesn't do that at some point, right? So, you got a couple shots coming up, get ready for a leg shot. Probably, right? If you know that, every time you disengage, Christian, for example, always fires a shot off at your leg. That's a pattern, you can manipulate that, right? Wait for it, disengage, and then when he goes for it, try to let him have it. Easy to say, hard to do, but at least it's happening, right? I've got footage. We're talking about tempo, right? Yeah. Getting into the tempo of the fight, learning like, I throw, you throw, I throw, you throw, I throw, you throw. That's tempo. That's the movement, that's the speed at what we're going at. Realizing that tempo is there and manipulating it is a very effective way to give yourself an advantage in timing. Pace. The pace is another concept. It's not tempo, right? Sometimes people come in and they're gonna bring in all their energy all at once. They're gonna try to end this fight. And if you've got an opponent that is showing, maybe it's like a pit fight and you're watching these people and you're like, yeah, that 20-odd-year-old guy is coming after everyone and he's trying to like run up their leg and do that. That's high pace, that's aggression, that's happening. So if I can pick up on that and say, okay, fine, I'm gonna put up a wall and I'm gonna let him run into that wall a few times, right? I know I can anticipate the pace that my opponent is gonna, is gonna get into it. I can manipulate that. Who's leading and who's following? So when we're fighting, this is from practice, this is from drill, we tend to start a fight and it happens like this. We get into this leading, following thing. If you realize that you're in a lead follow situation that you didn't plan, break that up. Disengage. Don't throw a shot, right? Because you're telling your opponent when you're going to throw. Right? We go back to the basics. If for me to block a shot, throw a shot, I have to go 1, 2, 3. There it is. Right? I got to track it. Oh, there it is. Coming, block it. If I don't know when it's happening, it's harder for me to do. Right? And if you fall into pace, you're just letting your opponent go, oh, I've thrown a shot. I better catch the next shot that Bryn's about to throw because it's coming. Right? Do a conservative pass. So you can decide when you're giving up your defense to have offense. Okay? So if I hang on to my sword and I block, I can come in and I can fight with my opponent. I might actually throw a shot. It doesn't really matter. But mentally, I am not trying to kill him. I'm trying to survive and observe. Okay, so I have a little like dial in my head that I sort of visualize of how much am I going to give up. When it's time to go, it goes all the way to offense and I'll fire off some shots. Other times it's in the middle, other times it's super conservative, right? So if I don't have a plan, if I'm not 100% sure, I'll come in and I'll attack my opponent and I'll just sort of roll with them just a little bit. I'm not likely to get killed here. I'm not trying to kill him. Right? I'm trying to get a little bit of I want to anticipate what this fight's really going to be like. So I'll come in and do a pass. He thinks I'm trying to kill him, but I'm not. I'm just throwing shots at him just to get him to start fighting me. Paying attention, covering. I'm not going to give up any of my focus. I'm not going to risk anything to try to get a leg shot. Even if there's one there, I'm going to be defensive. I'm going to roll in, and I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm dealing with. And then I peel out again, and then when I re-engage now, I've got a little vision of the future, the best part of that is he does not, right? So when I came in and engaged, I was this defensive fighter, right? And then we disengage, and he's like, okay, Savaric's defensive today, okay, fine. But no, not really. So now I'm gonna come in and do something different on the second pass.
So just to kind of like take that a little further, like a lot of times that you watch a lot of fights, like fights obviously know this, but like for the squires and guys, you watch a lot of fights and the first few rounds often are very different than what happens afterwards. Because yeah, it's a lot of that feeling out process of trying to gain and understanding what this opponent's going to do, and trying to look for those tells or look for those obvious things that they kind of do, right? So like Christian's leg shot, stuff like that, right? Or just those real obvious things that people want to do. Or Bull's like, holy crap, I'm coming for your ribs, and you're going to take him home with me. So right? You learn those things, and then formulate a plan for them.
Let's talk about tells. That's on there next. Taking that second to pick up on it, watching other people fight and seeing, is there a tell before they launch, before they come in? And a lot of us have tells, right? So it might be just they'll settle, they'll do something, they'll twitch. What's mine? I bring my shoulder back just a little bit. Yeah. So we've got these little things, and it's like I can't help but do that sometimes, right? And then you know, that's not just a pass. That's not just a sniping shot. They're coming. And you now have a warning that they're coming, right? Sometimes you'll get a tell when someone's about to throw a sky wrap, like this guy, right? So there's a little settle that happens. I'm like, oh, it's coming, right? And I'm waiting for it.
Hey, what is it, by the way, to tell?
He leans back.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, he kind of like we're fighting. And even before that, he starts leaning back into his stance, and while I'm going, I'm like, oh, here it comes, and I'll usually just get out, or if I'm comfortable, I'll let it happen, catch it, and then I'll fire back. Because he's so tall, this is how to kill Bryn too fast, right? He doesn't block the back of his head. He thinks I'm too short to hit it.
10 years later, I still feel like he's too short to hit it.
All right. So here's a real basic thing. Watch for people blocking their head with their sword. A lot of people do this. They're standing here like this. Okay? When they move their sword out of the way, hit them in the head. I learned that. It sounds super basic, right? But we'll have these people, and their shield will be down, and they've got their sword protecting that nice little spot right there, and they're feeling really safe right there. And if you tee off on it and wait, it's right there. And that kills a lot of people like that. And they just, and you can see it, if you watch them, again, you do that pass, so you're watching the shield edge, right? And you engage them once, and they throw, and you just watch, okay, how high did that move? Right? And you're like, okay, so that's where I need to go. So it might not just be a straight shot, it might be like a bit of a wrap, it might be a broken snap, but get a look at it on the first pass and say, okay, so a lot of people, here's the heater, they just go like this. And they just hope that, well, if you throw a shot, they'll bring it up, they'll catch it, right? But if you're waiting for it, and there, and you just drive it in, right? So round shield guys, sorry, but do a lot of sword blocking, right? So if you engage a round shield guy, and if they haven't tied up my sword, as soon as their sword clears their head, I'm going to swing for their head.
Any questions so far? Any thoughts that they want to expand on? So far, we are kind of going through fast, but it's just. Any thoughts or comments about it?
Maybe here. Maybe over here. Sorry, don't be there. We stayed up last night thinking of all the stupid things we could say.
It's the important stuff, right? This is the important stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Hit your opponent in the head. Come on. Let's do it faster.
Didn't realize that was a thing.
So a good idea for how to do all this is like when you're at practice, right? And you're looking at things, and you know the guys who you fight all the time. Just try doing this. Just try looking for like Savaric snap, right? Like I know it's coming. So start trying to guess when it's going to happen. Right? Magnus, you know all the Magnus, he has that spin shot that he landed on Ibrahim, and afterwards you could not get him to stop throwing that damn thing. And how I did it, like how I actually got him to stop throwing that all the time, is he would start turning his foot. And I would literally go, spin shot, and back off.
Yeah, that's hell.
And it would, because fuck, that thing's scary, right?
No, spin shot, when you see him, then you wait and hit him in the back.
That too, right? Like, yeah. But it's so start looking for those tells and start practicing it and go, that's what it is. And, you know, and you learn to build how to look for those shots.
Is that a straight up movie? Like, spin?
Yeah. Yeah, you just really fast.
Just spins towards the sword side, and on the other side is your edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his pants come out like it's poofy and it's
Yeah.
like a ballerina.
Have you seen Sir Martin do it with his skirt?
Yeah.
All right. So long shots versus short shots. Okay, so basic math here. So there's shots that take a long time to travel to the target and short time. So the longest shot we have is an offside leg, right? So it's, you know, you think of the triangle, right? So one, I have to reach out here, and two, I've got to take my sword across my body and then drop it over here, or at least like do a Molinet into it or something. But that's the longest shot we have. Leg shot is quite long as well, and wraps are long. Short shots are snaps, right? There's a reason why they teach you to snap first. It's quick, boom, and back, right? Offside, same thing, very quick. Knowing when your opponent's throwing a long shot, and you're throwing a short shot, it just makes sense, right? If we're throwing equally, we're firing off offside snaps, wraps. If you anticipate a long shot, try to throw a short shot. You'll get there before they're ready to return, and there's a drill coming up on that. In fact, we're going to jump right into that. Grab your shield. So me and Bryn will just do it, and you'll see what I'm doing. Where'd my shield go? Here it is.
Well, they're getting ready. If anybody would like, there is water and apple cider on the table.
Enjoy. Okay. So call this the clock drill. Now, there's a little more to it than just short shot, long shot. So I figure, if I'm standing on a clock, my sword has to come, once it's past 3 o'clock, there's always exceptions, but generally, once it's out of this gate here, it's a real shot, and it's really going where you think it's going. Same thing goes on 9 o'clock, right? So from here to here, once it's out of the gate, it's coming, right? Now, once that's happened, generally, we'll need to cross back through that 3 o'clock zone to have enough power to throw a killing shot again. Or I throw and I've got to get past 9 o'clock to generate power again. Everyone catching that? Make sense? Okay. So, once this is out and you know where it's going, that's when you can throw a return shot for free. Okay? If it's a leg shot, it's a long shot, and it's even better. So I can throw, if you go real slow, if Bryn throws a leg shot, and I'm throwing at the same speed, once I've identified that it's a leg, I can actually throw a snap, and before he can hit me in the head again, I'm back. It's that much shorter. Okay? If I were to throw a leg shot, try to match our speed, at the same time, okay, I've identified it, I know it's a leg, I'm throwing the leg, he's going to go offside, I'm going to try to bring my defense up, and he's going to have a chance at getting back to my head before I can get this insurance on here. Still have my shield, but we all like to have our extra defense. So that is, I'm going to block, so, sorry, back up. I want a shot on this side. If he throws an offside, just don't do it. Just wait for it. Right? Throw it away. So I'm going to wait for, if you want to be really particular, I'll wait for an onside leg. And then I'll throw snap. Right? And you can get someone to throw an onside leg on you just by waiting. Because we'll throw it. We're all going to do it, right?
Why not the offside leg? Why not the offside leg? You were saying.
Because it doesn't come.
Okay.
Right? So people don't tend to, I mean, I bait it, I stick my leg right in there, and they don't go for it.
Fair enough.
Okay? But they'll always throw onside leg.
Okay.
So every like 5th, 6th shot, it's going to be a leg shot. They're going to throw it, right? So if you're waiting for it, and it throws something different, like, oh, I don't know what that is, I don't know what that is, don't know what that is, there it is. Right? So if I've lost track, I'm tracking, waiting for the leg shot, When it comes, oh, that wasn't it. Boom, boom, bang. Right? That's him throwing a long shot versus my short shot. And that's pretty much the clock drill.
Any questions on that? So the way to think about when you're doing this kind of drill.
How does range play affect shot selection? How does range play affect shot selection? So I'm thinking long shots or range shots. So you're standing at range, are you closing the gap between that?
So I don't mean a long shot as in distance. So there's I'm trying to say it's not like a long snap.
Yeah.
A snap, we're all located. A snap is this, and then a leg shot is
Okay,
this.
I got it.
So imagine a triangle, right? Right. I physically have to get travels. If we're on each other's doorstep, I have to travel farther to get that and back than you have to.
So yeah, it's a lot of looking for those shots that you are safest when they're throwing it, when you see it coming. Does that make sense? So like when he's talking about it, he gets leg shots thrown out all the goddamn time. So he's used to, I know what to do with this, I'm safe, I don't have to think about this, so I can throw off a shot while I'm blocking at the same time, right? So it's being able to be comfortable enough with the defense to now start applying some offense. And doing it a short shot with a long shot, like on a long shot, is the fastest way to do it and keep you the safest possible.
So I want to talk about drills for a second. Drills do not have to be as complicated as a lot of people make them, right? People get these elaborate drills. They make it so that I would advise people to stay away from making the drill equal for both people. A good drill should have someone that's receiving it and someone that's helping them do the drill. Okay? So, and a drill, like a simple drill. You take your buddy, you're like, hey, throw 3 shots at me and make one of them a leg shot. Right? Now I know I can take a second, I'm not actually in combat, I can calm down, I've got a partner that's helping me, he's not going to tear my legs off, we're working together, and I can now isolate the fact that a leg shot is coming in this group of 3 shots. Keep getting my leg taken, I'm like, I need to get better at blocking it. So all you need to do is just ask someone to throw a leg shot in a package, right? Can you throw thrusts at me? I keep getting caught. So you get an opponent like, hey, look, throw 5 shots at me. I'm going to throw 1 or 2 at you. We're just going to go throw a thrust at me. And when you see, like, now you have an opportunity to watch your opponent transition into a thrust guard instead of a cutting guard. Because, oh, now I got it. Right? They do not have to be very complicated. So I want to talk about timing in again, reaction timing. How do you deny your opponent a chance to react to your attack? And one of the things is, well, don't give them advance notice, right? So one thing that we see is from lay on, and this is going to be great for the round field guys, is people do this. They go like lay on, and they go. And they attack. I mean, there's a valid, like, Duke balls are really awesome closing shot thing. Totally valid. But if all you're doing is, like, walking in and going 3, 2, 1, you are telling your opponent exactly when you're about to throw a shot. So if he knows when, then it makes it, where is a lot easier. So, sorry if I keep saying he. I know there's female fighters, but I keep doing it, so. Anyways, so if you're closing on your opponent from lay on, and you're giving up everything and then dropping into a shot, it makes it very easy for them to block your first attack. The other thing that you don't want to do is show your opponent exactly where your defense is, right? Sort of just ties in. So if I'm going to let my opponent walk in, I should just stand there in my defense and let them pick the shot that they want to throw. So what I'll do is I usually have my sword down. I don't show them where it's going to stick. I have my sword down. Don't give them advance notice as to where I'm going to be blocking. And then I close into range, but before I get into range, I stop just for a second or so. I control how long I stop for. Once I'm there, I now attack, and he doesn't have the knowledge of when it's going to happen. Okay? So the drill we do is we start off at lay on. So you're going to stand still. Okay. I look at my opponent. We switch out the opponent. So I look at my opponent. I have to gauge their range. Ground shield guys will be really good at gauging range. I look at what leg's forward. I try to see how long their sword is. Right? I gauge how tall they are, what their reach is going to be like. Now I have to guess what their range is. So what I want to do is I want to come in, maybe not even in a straight line. I want to come in and then stop here. So my opponent looks at me and shows me the range. And if I am more than a foot away, I have to redo it. If I get touched by the sword, I have to redo it. Okay? So we start out here. Okay? Then we nod at each other, and now I'm going to launch into a one-shot attack. Okay? So what that's doing is that's severely reducing his reaction time. Right? It's telling me when I'm safe and when I'm not safe. If you get really good at knowing where that line is, when you step out of it, it's there again, safety, right? So you come in, check the range, and now I'm about to throw that attack. So now I'm like, how can I close in and attack effectively? And you just practice going, I think I'll get a leg, and I jump in throwing the leg shot, right?
Why, like, a big part of why that we do that is because like both of us are counter punchers and both of us usually have a pre-planned orchestrated shot. Being at that distance allows you to stay there and kind of be comfortable and think at the same time, well, you're not really, he's got to do something that's going to tell me he's coming at me for him to be able to kill me. Right? So I can kind of stay here and kind of go, okay, Alden's doing this, Alden's doing that, and still be in effective range, but not be in killing range, right? Because I know as soon as I get in close range, 900 shots are coming at me. So I want to stay at that range, and it also helps you dictate the pace of the fight.
Okay. I'm going to talk about reaction again a little bit. So reaction being the pure reflex of blocking shots, not deception or anticipation. I want to give my opponent more things to think about, right? So I think of it as a computer, and I'll literally say overload their computer, right? If you've legged someone, this is a really good tactic. Don't just attack. Use your advantage to give them other things to think about. And it can be the simplest thing. It can be this. Right? So the difference between me coming in, and now I'm going to throw a snap, and I go like that, or I go like that first, and his brain fires off. Things are happening now. I've just moved. Right? And now when I throw the shot, he has to process that additional information. It can be something as simple as just taking a step, right? So we're here, and I go like this first, right? A bad fighter won't adjust, right? A good fighter will sling. So if you skate out to the side there, I'll trap. Okay? So when I do that, I don't think you're not. A good fighter will trap. They're going to move and they're going to cover that. I'm just getting you to think about tracking while I'm firing a shot. right? You now need to deal with that. If I circle you, let's say I want to throw a leg shot, and I start going like this first, right? Now you're like, I know I'm throwing a leg shot. The whole time, I'm aiming to, imagine, you think of like firing guns off of a moving ship. You can be moving and shooting a gun off of a ship. You know that the movement is happening. You can anticipate, you can lead appropriately. But being on the receiving end of that, it's a lot harder. When someone's moving and they're throwing a shot, it gives your brain a lot more to process, right? So it can be like a little stutter step, it can be a little fake. Ideally, you're going to get the brain to tell the shield to move in a different direction than you intend to throw. Okay? Like, so we're here, and I go like that, and then I'll go here. Right? And it can be the smallest movement. So his shield may not even move. But if I've convinced his brain that I'm going up high, so you did it, right? If I go like that, and his brain goes, oh, the attack is coming high, all his muscles start firing off in this direction, and they're going up. And now I'm going down. Okay, so he's got to change his, now he has to tell his arm, you're going the wrong way. Right? So first it was up, and now it's down. When you do these little fakes like that, you've got to throw right after. Okay, so if I go like that, and he goes up, and I don't throw, he resets. Okay, so it's a little pump. You get he fires off his muscles. The brain's now engaged. It's now working, and now I go for the leg shot. Right? It's just a little simple engage the brain. When I leg someone, I'll literally. You want to grab your knee first a second? I know it's not comfortable, but instead of just walking in and attacking, I'll literally go, and then I come in. Right? When you're looking up at your opponent and they start firing little shots at you, it's intimidating, right? Your brain's like, okay, are they coming now? Yes, no. And if you turn a little bit of movement into that, it starts overwhelming your ability to react to the shot. And I haven't even tried to hit you yet, right? This is just a smoke screen. This is just feeding your brain, giving you something to process. And now I'm going to come in for the offside that I was planning on. And it costs me almost nothing, right? That's why I do it when I like someone, right? All right. So we talked a little bit about sword blocking. I won't say don't sword block. That would be giving away a great resource. There is absolutely a time to sword block. If I don't know what's going on, I mentioned the conservative pass. I'm absolutely going to come in like that, right? Sword blocking is great for that. If I'm up against the ropes and I've run out of space to operate, absolutely. Put your sword up. I call it putting up a wall, right? If I need to catch my breath, if I need to just assess what's going on, if I need to convince you that you can't possibly hit me, and I've got all this defense, I'm going to sword block. That said, what I will stand by